Chapter 15. The Final Gambit. I was stumped. In this downpour, what the heck is this kid doing out here? And how did he even know I was here, given I'd already activated the voidless domain? He could have shown up at any time. But no, he picks the exact moment I'm getting pummeled into the ground? If he saw me like this, how humiliating. Moreover, I had just told him I'd handle the world's safety. Now, if I inadvertently pull Lin Chier into this mess and something happened to him, I'd never forgive myself. You think you can tell me what to do? I know you're fighting that freakish masked guy in there. Let me in. I'm pretty handy in a fight myself. Lin Chier's voice came again from outside. Handy my ass. I snapped. That's not just some masked freak. That's the masked king of the Chuan realm. 2 whole levels above your amateur genre realm. What's a high school kid like you gonna do? Headbutt him. Besides, aren't you usually scared of dying? What's got you so eager to throw yourself into danger now? Get your ass home and have dinner. I'm telling you, as long as I, Zhao Kongqing, am here, this thing won't lay a finger on you or your family. This is a different situation. I might be scared of dying, but I can't owe anyone a favor. Lin Chier shouted back. We're having a nice meal inside while you're out here fighting the Masked King? If you want to be a nameless hero, you've got to wait until we've dealt with the Masked King. Then, you can join us for dinner. Lin Chier slammed against the barrier, but it was like hitting a solid wall, the voidless domain, still firm and unyielding despite his best efforts. Inside the barrier, I was sent flying again by the Masked King. I lay on the ground, struggling to prop myself up with my blade. Don't waste your effort. Cough cough, even though I don't have a realm, my voidless domain is more than enough to block anyone below the Qi realm. To get in here, you have only 2 options. Either I let you in, or you wait for me to die. You can't break my voidless domain, so coming here to face the Masked King is like walking to your own death. I kept my eyes locked on the Masked King, my voice growing weaker. After my last words, the commotion outside stopped. No more pounding on the voidless domain, no more voices. I waited. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. A smile tugged at my lips. That's better. Stay home and have your meal. Leave the rest to us night watchers. I struggled to my feet, gasping for air, blood dripping from my mouth. Every breath I took sent sharp pains through my body, making me shiver. My body was at its limit. In front of me, the Masked King stood like a mountain in the rain, covered in old and new wounds. But it remained vigorous, showing no signs of collapsing. This was the freakish resilience of mythical creatures. With one hand gripping the knife and the other trembling, I reached into my pocket. After a moment, I pulled out a medallion. The medallion bore the image of 2 crossed straight blades with my name written below it. Zhao Kongqing. In a daze, I found myself back at the beginning, just a rookie joining the Night Watchers. The medallion is the Night Watcher's life, not just in belief, but in combat too. The inner side of this medallion holds a small needle. Press the switch, and it pops out. The needle is coated with a substance called Demon God's Elixir. This elixir, when injected into the body, burns up all a person's latent potential in a short time, significantly enhancing the power of someone who already possesses a void. For those without a void, the Demon God's Elixir forcibly stimulates the body, awakening a hidden void in the essence of life. Essentially, it grants someone without a void the experience of having one. This is a last-ditch effort, a means of turning the tables from the brink of death, and for warriors without a void, their one chance to experience their own void. It must not be used unless absolutely necessary. Gripping the medallion, I trembled uncontrollably, watching the Masked King close in, my lips curling into a smile. You know, do you have any idea how long I've been waiting for this day? The torrential rain mixed with blood dripped down my arm, falling onto the medallion's surface. Ignoring whether the Masked King could hear or understand, I muttered to myself in the rain. Men always yearn for supernatural powers, dreaming of moving mountains with a single punch and covering the sky with a thought. After all these years as a Night Watcher, I've been waiting for my void to awaken. But now, at over 40, I still haven't seen it. Honestly, it's tough being a Night Watcher without a void. Watching the captains use their voids in battle is always a bitter sight. So I thought, if I ever face an unbeatable enemy, I'd use the Demon God's Elixir before I die to see my void. Even if I die, I'd go with a smile, Anyway, thanks for giving me this chance. I opened my palm, letting the rain wash over the medallion. My fingers brushed the side of the medallion, causing a narrow silver needle to spring out. I took a deep breath and drove the silver needle into my palm. Damn it, that hurts. I grimaced, cursing under my breath. As soon as the needle pierced my skin, a surge of unprecedented power flooded my body, washing away the pain. My cells felt as if they were on an adrenaline rush, showing an unparalleled vitality. My heart beat rapidly, like war drums on a battlefield. At the same time, a mysterious force radiated from me outward. My eyes lit up. The masked king seemed to sense the danger, letting out a low growl, its legs propelling it forward with terrifying speed. I straightened my back, gripped the knife tighter, the rain pattering on the blade with a rhythmic clink. I held the knife in the rain, my eyes blazing with an intensity never before seen. Then, I raised my hand and slashed towards the rapidly approaching masked king. A dark crescent, 4 to 5 meters high, sliced through the rain like a silent blade, cutting through the space in front of us. The crescent was so fast, the masked king couldn't even react. So, a mangled, menacing arm flew high into the air. With one swing, I severed the masked king's arm. Holding the knife, my lips couldn't help but curl up. I laughed up to the sky. Void Sequence 083, Oblivion Crescent Moon. Ha ha ha, I knew it, Zhao Kongcheng. I'm a damn genius too. Chapter 27, A Deadly Glare. The rain poured down in sheets, drenching everything in its path. I gripped my straight blade tightly, my dark red cloak soaked through, the blood mixing with the rain as it streamed off me. I looked like a mess, but my eyes were sharp and bright like stars. So this is the Forbidden Ruins. Damn, this feels amazing. Across from me, the ghost-faced king stared at the empty space where its right arm used to be, its pale ghostly face twisted in shock. It couldn't comprehend how the mouse it had been toying with moments ago suddenly unleashed such terrifying power. But the thing didn't have the brains to figure it out, nor did it have the time. I moved. The effects of the ghost god elixir coursed through me, erasing every injury, bringing my body back to its peak. I was like an arrow released from the bow, hurtling straight toward the ghost-faced king. Roar! The ghost-faced king's eyes flared red, and losing its arm had driven it into a frenzy. Muscles bulged across its massive body as it grew even larger. Then it sprang forward, splashing through the water, meeting me head-on in midair. Bang! 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 We clashed at lightning speed, our movements blurring. Black arcs of blade energy flew out, carving deep scars into the ground around us. Before, my blade couldn't even scratch the Ghostface King, and I was hopelessly outmatched in both strength and speed. That's why I got my ass handed to me. But now, with Destruction Flash, my attack power had reached a terrifying level. Every slash I made left a deep wound on the Ghostface King. Even though I was still slower and weaker than it, my newfound power covered up those shortcomings. My experience could make up for the rest. Even if my physical abilities were far inferior to the Ghostface King, I could still beat it down. I wasn't lying when I said it. With the Forbidden Ruins power, I could kill this monster 100 times over. If I had enough time, killing the Ghostface King alone would just be a matter of time. But that's the problem. I didn't have that much time. The Ghost God Elixir could unleash all of one's potential, but it didn't last long. It had been almost 10 seconds since I triggered the Forbidden Ruins, and I could already feel the time slipping away. While battling the Ghostface King, I could feel my strength fading, the pain I had been ignoring creeping back. Even the black blade arcs I swung were growing smaller. The Ghostface King must have noticed my weakening state because it pushed itself even harder, unleashing a brutal flurry of attacks. After a few more exchanges, the Ghostface King saw an opening and landed a heavy punch square in my chest. Thud dash! The impact echoed through the air, sending me flying like a kite with its string cut, crashing heavily to the ground. Damn, why does it hurt so much? The pain hit me like a tidal wave, searing through every nerve in my body. I clenched my teeth, my eyes bloodshot. Coughing up blood, I slowly dragged myself up from the mud. My gaze locked onto the Ghostface King, the fire in my eyes still burning fiercely. I was still breathing, my Forbidden Ruins power still active. I could keep fighting. The Ghostface King wasn't dead yet, so I couldn't fall. I used my blade to prop myself up and shakily got back to my feet. But then, something unexpected happened. Boom dash. A deafening sound erupted behind me. The sky above trembled slightly, cracking open. What the? I stared dumbfounded at the sky, a realization dawning on me, and I whipped around. Not far behind me, the invisible barrier that had been covering this part of the sky had torn open a small gap. And through that gap, a boy with golden eyes was walking towards me. My jaw dropped. I looked like I'd seen a ghost. Why you? How did you get in here? Lin Chia brushed back his rain-soaked hair, his eyes burning with a fierce, holy light. He sighed, exasperated. I have to admit, this boundless void is pretty damn tough. But lucky for me, I've got these eyes that can find its weakest point. And lucky for us, it's night. I only understood the first part, but it still didn't answer the questions racing through my mind. You're barely at the lamp stage. How do you have this kind of power? Wait, you don't even have a weapon. So how did you break through boundless void? You might not believe me, Lin Chia said calmly, but I glared at it and it opened. Lin Chia wasn't lying. The knight had amplified his eye's power, not to a crazy 5 times, but at least double. Before he became the Stardance Knight, he could use the Seraphim's divine power to kill the Ghostface men, and with the knight's enhancement, he could break through boundless void. But it took a huge toll on his mental energy. Just glaring at it had nearly drained him dry. Lin Chia glanced at the battered Ghostface King, then at the scars all over the ground. He shot me a strange look. And you said you didn't have the Forbidden Ruins power? No way a human could do this. I didn't bother explaining because I didn't have much time left. Stop talking and get out of the way. I can help you fight. I know, but stand back for now. I turned to look at him. One more strike. I'll land one more strike, then you can help me. Okay. Lin Chia stepped aside. I took a deep breath, tightened my grip on the hilt of my blade, and locked my gaze on the Ghostface King. Kid. Yeah, this strike. Watch closely. Why? Because this strike is gonna be epic. Dot. Before Lin Chia could roll his eyes at me, I kicked off the ground, charging at the Ghostface King with blinding speed. The Ghostface King seemed to realize I was running on fumes and didn't dare meet me head-on. It stood its ground cautiously, ready to defend against my attack at any moment. The light in my eyes burned brighter, like a torch igniting. I crashed through the curtain of rain, charging at the Ghostface King. No fancy tricks, just a single, deadly strike. A massive black arc sliced through the night, moving too fast to see, splitting every raindrop in its path. The strike was so fast, even the mighty Ghostface King couldn't dodge it. Not that it could have anyway, in its current state. And so, the black crescent cut through the sky, and with one swift motion, a pale, grotesque head with a ghostly face was severed and fell to the ground.